This is the only one I do. No, that's just being honest in case you see me somewhere and say, "Arey, तुमने तो देखा था." So Shiny is my editor from my first book. She's been my editor and she's one of the.
So that's why this is a lit fest he makes time for. I think Bangalore Lit Fest is 13 years old, but this is my first time here, and I'm wondering why, because I love the vibe so far. It seems very intimate, unlike a lot of other festivals, and that's fantastic. Also, the city of trees is wonderful to come to. The city of trees and the city of startups now. Till the startups came on the scene and the startup founders came on scene, Chetan Bhagat was the most famous IIT. Now these startups upstart.
I still am.
Huh? Are you still? No, I don't. Are you?
I don't know. I think Arvind
Are you
Kejriwal.
sure?
I think Arvind Kejriwal is. I mean, if there is a category of most famous IITian, which I don't know why that category exists, but yeah, I would say. I mean, Arvind Kejriwal is much more in the news than I am, and everybody knows him.
That's a very clever way to deflect from the point I was making, which is the other IITians who are startup founders
They're all here.
have all got the attention now. The IIT attention is on the startup founders.
Correct, but they've had to make $1 billion. and make big companies with thousands of people and take the stress of investor money. I just had to write love stories. So are you guys all rich? They are all Bangalore people, right? You're rich? Yeah, because you're not running companies, you're attending Lit Fest. So kya hoga? Go open something. Like deliver food in like 2.5 minutes or something. This is you can, right? Bangalore is where it started. If you order class 3, actually let's start from the top. There's the absolute elite who control this world, the 1%, as it's often called.
Okay.
The rich people, the famous people, the powerful politicians, influential people. Then you have second class, around 10% of people who are supporting the upper class, which are like doctors, lawyers, accountants, also privileged, also doing very well. And then you have 90% below, which is like the workers, the drones, the guy who's getting you the toothpaste in 8 minutes, and somehow it's justified, he's available that cheap, that his labor is worth that much. And that's the reality of life. To say that you want to work hard, good things will happen, that the world is, nature or this planet is not designed to be comfortable. It's not designed to be fair. It is not a hotel we check into and say, hello, welcome to Earth, that's it.
But Chetan,
Anywhere in the jungle, anywhere, we compete, we fight, we rise.
so I'm surprised that you feel that you need to tell people that, because all of us know how tough it is, and you've completely your
with a fixed stock of talent, so a national team. There's no getting away from people. So if you don't get on with someone and they're very good, you better get used to them because they're not going anywhere. As well, in the IPL or in football, you could just buy someone else and the other player would have to leave your team and go somewhere else if you were running the show. The second thing is that, of course, with an infinite number of options, or almost infinite, so with many thousands of footballers, you could...
Destiny. So, I hope you can feel that spirit and that energy in Vietnam when you visit Vietnam, as I can feel now when I'm in India. Thank you.
Crime in the city. Now, it's my pleasure to be in conversation with a trio of crime novelists whose books have together sketched a social history of Bangalore over the last 100 years. And let's begin our time and crime travel with Harini Nagendra, whose historical fiction series are set in the British Raj of the 1920s, a time when probably your great-grandmothers were alive. Now, Harini, hi. Why did you choose this particular period, the 1920s, and what was Bangalore like in those days?
So I don't know, as some of you might know, I am also an ecologist, and a lot of my research has been on the history of Bangalore, especially the history of Bangalore's ecology. And for me, the 1920s are a lovely period.
And conversations with her is what persuades Archana that she needs to take matters in her own hand. So Archana is filled with a new energy after talking to Sister Philomena. Hope is on the horizon again. 2 days later, Faki wordlessly hands her phone to Archana.
Shweta would be so impressed. Give me specifics. What places would we cover? Shweta's practical question brought Nilima back to reality. We'll start with the majestic area, she said, shifting uncomfortably on the hard metal seat. Why? Asked Shweta. In deference to the unusually hot weather, she was in a pale green cotton chicken curry kurta, the dupatta fluttering slightly in the breeze from the fan.
Letter writer. He had written plays before that and poems, very interesting poems. But many, if we compare these letters that he was writing to his niece Indira with what would become the Golpo Guccio or the short stories, we find that he
Joy, welcome to Bangalore Literature Fest. Thank you for having me. Thank you to Bangalore Literature Festival for having me again. It's wonderful to be here and I'm excited.
The last we met, Durjoy, it was at the Jaipur Lit Fest for the first part.
If you see me in 5 years, maybe I'll give you a different answer. But for now, this is my answer.
So in this book with Daksh, I can very clearly see shades of Durjoy in the sense the parenting comes in. And that's not a typical romance hero. He's a young boy, he's forced to care for his sister. How much of you being a dad has influenced that entire character arc?
Absolutely, 100%. I mean, you tend to write about things that happen to you. So, my first daughter was born in 2016. And in my mind, dads are uncles. But I also needed to write about this. So I wanted the parenting bit to come in, but I did not want the character to age. So I was like, what if this character is 19 and then, his mother gets pregnant and now he has to care about a child. In the public, people have seen you, now it's a relationship. Now you got to hide it from parents for the next 20 years. So this is a chronology of a relationship, and even in that relationship, we have absolutely zero vocabulary. Either you're single, or you're committed, or it's complicated. And it's complicated it does not have the weight of say it's toxic. It's complicated is like it's complicated. You can solve stuff out over the next couple of weeks, say couple of years. So we had absolutely no sense of where relationships are going, A, and we had no vocabulary to sort of define us. I mean, not labeling a relationship anything is also sort of a label which you have the luxury of saying that, okay, we are not labeling it anything. For us, it was either you're dating or you do not know this person. there is no middle ground. Rewiring of the brain for me to get it, but if you have seen the reels that now I do with voiceovers and etc. तो पहले ना मुझे लगता था, so I now what I do is I make reels on say stuff like aging, or what is it to have kids, or what is it to have your friends getting married. So earlier I used to think that whatever I want to say in this video, it is so basic that I should not say it. That this is a base level emotion. इसको मैं क्यों बता रहा हूँ? I mean, when I'm writing books that are like 300 pages long, which I would like to believe deals with more complex emotions, why am I? This is almost engagement farming that I'm. So my second book was anything, but because it was titled "Now That You're Rich, Let's Fall in Love," and OTT really liked it, and they hired us to write the screenplay. And the TV show is very good. So when it comes out, it's going to come out probably in February or March. Please watch it.
Lovely. Now I'm going to throw the floor open to
It's the framework is the same. That Dev and Avantika, of course, at some points in time, they were inspired from me and Avantika. But everything that happens in the book is completely fictional. I mean, it's what could have been. If you put the same characters through extremely different scenarios, how would they have reacted? It's an exercise in what if. So nothing in the book is true, but I think we would have reacted the same way the characters would have reacted in the book.
So these are the small tricks that the translators invokes, using culture-specific items, retaining culture-specific items, and inviting the attention of the reader to that particular culture. If you make it plain, like a carpenter plains out everything and make it available for the
within the language, because every writer has a style, and we saw Mukundan sir this morning. He has, again, a very diverse, eclectic style. So the challenge for a translator is really how do you bring not just one kind of Malayalam to an audience, but various kinds of Malayalam. So how do you approach that, particularly in this short story collection, which spans a variety of writers and themes? It's quite a task. This has been one of the criticisms, especially Bashir. People were asking, in the reviews, there are at least 2 reviews people pointing it out. Because Bashir's language, this particular Vishwavikhyatamaya the world now knows, is not, that kind of difficult to translate language. Because only his satire, his sarcastic language, his satiric language in English. But you can keep the beat rhythm. That I have done. I have Anushtup is easy to do that. I have done Sugata Kumari's Pen Kunju Tunnuru with this beat, following this beat method, and I just come out well. And I have done many poems like that. But it is not something, imitating Vrittam as such, or recreating Vrittam as such. It's not possible. It's not at all possible. Sorry.
Narration that is to follow in the book. So this is, at least I've tried, a very direct, straightforward, plain telling of things as they are. And this title sets the tone for that. There isn't an attempt to minimize or to euphemize or put some kind of soft focus on these subjects that are not always spoken about in society. So for this reason, I went with this title for this book.
Great title, I must say. Lakshmi, your response.
Thanks you. Thanks, Greta. Thanks, Bangalore Literature.
Relationship. The feeling that one person is not doing enough and the other person has to do a lot more. But I think at some point there was a level of acceptance and understanding that this is unfair and this is unequal, and there is somewhere else that maybe the partner will be able to contribute. So that's how things panned out for us, and we survived.
And her husband.
I stopped over focusing on, I need a book to be a valuable human being. Until I write a book, I won't matter. And I had to let go of that and just focus on the craft and just showing up to my desk every day, or as close to every day as I could, putting in the hours and being satisfied with that. If I showed up, then that's enough. My self-worth is not tied to external product. And that is definitely what I have learned from the journey. I do love, my publisher asked me to include this letter to the reader, and it was a joy to write it, because I think that people think the writer writes something, the reader consumes it. But actually, every reader has a different neural constellation. They come with their own life experiences. They project their own family members, friends, people who remind them of characters.
The difficult decisions between some wonderful books that has culminated with us today here at this awards ceremony. This award and the selection would not have been possible without the wonderful support we receive year on year from publishers in this country. This year, we had over 200 books nominated for the Fiction Prize, over 250 books nominated for the Non-Fiction Prize, and close to 50 titles for the cover design and popular choice categories.
Police reforms is a much debated issue. There are lots of illustrious policemen who have done a lot of work on this. Mr. Prakash Singh.
in my house, but they didn't make a thing out of it.
Okay.
It was
Yeah, of
unspoken,
course, yeah.
unsaid
Yeah.
that they wouldn't because their grandparents or their parents or whoever said, no, just kitchen mein meat bana hai mat khao, which was fine.
Yeah.
But that माँ के पास गए, इंसान की शक्ल देखने को हम तरस गए. Now the poet, the Urdu poet in particular, has always been a realist of his times, his or her times. The Urdu poet has drawn our attention to around us.
Many people working. You might think that you have WhatsApp, you have phones. No, there are still so many people all over our country who keep sending letters. So people like me, we help the whole country stay connected. Can we clap for all the postmen and postwomen, all of them who work for us? La 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 la, postman basket, and his red and black scooter. Okay. Now I'll tell you a tiny weeny story. After that, we're all going to be sitting and writing a fun letter. Okay?
The string will vibrate because of the friction. Yes, and depending on the pressure, depending on the thickness, depending on the time spent over the strings, and because the body is a body of air, it will.
What drives you? I honestly don't know. I don't have an answer for this. I really wish I did because I get this question so often. I don't have an answer. Honestly, my favorite part about my job is that not one day is like another. Like for example, yesterday we were releasing Mismatch. Today I'm here with you. Tomorrow I'm going to be walking around with someone very special that you love. I didn't say it. On Monday, I'm doing something else. Tuesday, Wednesday, I'm shooting again something fun. So I like that there's so much monotony and not one day is like another. And I think that is where all of this stems from. I think in general, I enjoy doing multiple things at the same time. It's chaotic, but it's fun.
Are you planning to conquer the world next?
Only time can tell.
So among the many hats that you wear, which one makes you the happiest and why?
I think the term creator kind of, I was in 4th standard when my father kind of urged me that I should start journaling. And I started enjoying that a lot. So I would come home from school every single day and I would sit down and I would write in my diary about what happened at school and what happened with my friends and the good days and the happy days. So I actually have like stacks of books that I've filled ever since I was... How old are you when you're in 4th standard? 9 years old. To do with my work. So I started writing a few ideas. I thought, okay, chalo, I want to make, what if someday I make a film? Like write a film or like write a show. I want to do long form content, I want to do episodic content. That's how it started. The idea for Too Good to Be True actually came to me as a show idea. But I liked it so much, it was so exciting to me that I kind of told the team that let's not put a writer's room together yet. Let me see what I can do with it. But I'd never written a screenplay or a pitch document for a story before. So the only way of writing that I knew when it came to telling a story was to make journal entries. So I started writing dual POV journal entries for my... Okay, good. Otherwise, Harbour Country will be so upset with me. Like she went on stage and spoke about Mismatch the whole time. I'll tell you what. So this is me. That's Aman. It's just a coincidence that it looks like me and Vishant, who's my fiance. I swear, so many people ask me like, is Aman actually Vishant? And I'm like, no. When you read Aman, you know he's not. The only thing common between them is that they both have brown eyes and dimples. And that's only everybody that I would end up meeting, and you all have been nothing but so warm and lovely. So thank you so much. I'm going to go to sleep much happier and calmer tonight. I really needed this for my mental health. Thank you so much.
actor at work. Over to you.
It feels very nice and intimate actually. Hello everyone, and one more Bangalore Lit Fest is here. I have to give a caveat first itself. I have only interviewed Parvati for some controversy or the other, or if a committee report comes, or when she does walkouts and sit-ins and revolutions. This is the first time that I will be speaking to her about her being an actor.
It all kind of, the gears shifted into a 5, I think, when in 2017 there was the extreme trolling and online attack that I faced. And then I found my tribe, right? Like my people, who were there not ever asking me, why don't you be quiet, why don't you just act and go home? Because until then I had those people around me. I have been trolled and attacked. There is a determination I have found that I have performed in Samira, that I am performing in life. You know, some things like that, yeah.
So in another interview you were saying that 2018 was the year that you were offered Ullurukku, the claim movie Ashwini Star. So and you said that at that time you were not ready to do that role. Why did you feel then that you were not ready, and what changed in the next 3 or 4 years that you suddenly felt that this is something I could try?
So I am known to like dark, deep, profound things. I also ask my friends dark, deep, profound things. But this was too dark. I read like he came home and gave me the narration, and you might have seen Christo's interviews. He's this calm, like he's soft-spoken person, and the dissonance was glaring. Like he's speaking, but the things coming out of his mouth were like, what did I do? What just happened? Can you raise your hand? Who's spoilers? Oh my God!
Against spoilers?
Shame. For shame.
Okay.
She's dead. Thanks. Good job.
Good that you're not working with me. Okay, now we spoke about England. Why are the clothes this color? So do you also then read up on the politics of your directors, etc. before choosing?
I don't read up on the director's politics. I like meeting them, so when we have a conversation, we'll understand the compatibility there. Or like Paranjit, his films we've seen before, he's very outspoken about his politics, so you already kind of know. But that can all work out, and still I won't be able to do a film if the character is not hooked me. It's the first point of entry for me in a film.
And